everybody, it's Kelly Oblak with this week's Sketch It Out Thursday. This is our inspiration board for the month, and I was once again inspired by color here, by the greens and the pink to sketch or to scrap a layout of a friend and I. This is the sketch I'm using. It's from the 4x6 photo sketch blog. It's at 4x6 photo sketch blogspot.com, and what I did is I turned it a quarter of a turn and then I flipped it horizontally. I'll try to provide a link to this sketch in the description. So here's the two photos I'm going to use. The sketch has photos of two different orientations plus a third. I actually started out with two different orientations and I trimmed them both so they basically became the same orientation. I didn't do that on purpose, it's just the way that it worked best for me. So that green paper there that I'm using at the moment is from Doodlebug. It's at the zoo and it's later alligator, and I cut that into a strip of about 5 inches, and I'm putting that on that bright pink background, and that's an Amy Tangerine paper, but I bought it at like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, one of the two, but that is from Amy Tangerine. And then I'm playing around with a couple of 3x4 cards here to use for journaling, and one for the title. So right now the title is up at the top. It's I'm so lucky to have you, and then I've got the journaling card there at the bottom. Both of those are from Elle Studio. The lucky to have you is a printable, and the other one is an actual 3x4 card. So I'm going to mount this on this piece of pink star paper, and that is from Bello Boulevard. It's the Oh My Stars collection. It's the Cotton Candy Stars. And I'm following the paper arrangement pretty closely here, with the exception that I did do a couple of flips here. And I'm going to use the grid lines and the stars to help line up my paper here. I love the really high contrast of the pink and green here. The layout I did earlier in the month, I also used bright pinks and bright greens. So not a color combination I use very often, but for those of you who were growing up in the 80s, it reminds me of all the very preppy colors at the time. There was a lot of that pink and green, and that hot pink and that green are two of my favorite colors. So that worked out really well. I did realize that I had the photos exactly sort of opposite of the way they were supposed to be. So the top row was supposed to be justified more to the right. The bottom row was supposed to be more to the left, and I had them flipped. All right, so then I'm kind of playing with the journaling cards there to see whether I like that green or the white card. And I really like the green card, or the green and white card there that says adventure, because this has been kind of an adventure. And then what I did is I decided to put the lucky to have you card on the bottom, which is my title, because the weight of it at the top with the light white at the bottom felt way too heavy to me. So I just flipped them. Now it's a tone on tone and it's hard to see the edges, but it's fine really in person. You can really tell that it's different because the shading of the two greens is a little bit different. And I think I said this in my last one, it's entirely appropriate that I'm using these colors because my name is Kelly, and those are definitely Kelly greens that I'm using there. All right, so I'm going to trim that card a little bit on each side, like a minuscule amount, because it was a little bit higher than that photo on the top row, and I wanted it to be even borders around. So that's basically what I was doing there. Okay, so I like how that photo arrangement looks now. And I trimmed that bottom photo just a titch as well because it was a little bit longer than the lucky to have you card. Just adding a little spacing there, and then I'm going to get one of these pieces lined up, and then everything else will line up from there. This was, when I'm voicing this over, this was last weekend. We were at, this friend and I were actually at a scrapbook crop together, a scrapbook retreat weekend together. And sorry about that hair, but I had to get that lined up and I had to look over it to do it. All right, so it's just fun looking back at these pictures. And you know, it was nice. We were wearing these silly St. Patrick's Day headbands because we were going to do a run the next day, and I bought them for us because I have this thing about when we run these events together. And you'll keep hearing more and more about those events throughout the year as I run them with this friend. And my sister joins in too as well sometimes. but I like wearing a silly headband to do it. And we were just modeling them and taking selfies. So now I'm going to add in a bunch of die cuts from Elle Studio, and all of these are from Elle Studio. So I added, I just pulled all the green die cuts I had, and then I was thinking about it as I was looking at the pictures when I was just pulling everything green that I had, and I realized that my friend is wearing some black there, and that might be a nice like neutral color to put in with this pink and green to like give your eye a little bit of something to focus on, because it's so bright right now and it sort of neutralizes it. So that's what it's going to do. So I added that circle that says every day. I have that little heart tab that I'm working with. I have that camera little die cut that I'm working with there. At the top right, I have one that says love our time together. And these are from all sorts of miscellaneous kits and bits and pieces, grab bags that they sell. I just dump them all together once I've got a collection mostly used up, or if it just comes in a bits and pieces bag, and then I just rifle through it looking for what I need. Now I did put these puffy stickers off to the side and thought, ooh, that's right, I want to get some puffy stickers in here. So I find that one sticker that says so awesome, and that came from the Elle Studio So Awesome puffy stickers. It was one of those things that you could buy. They released during a monthly release, and you could buy those. So I don't know if they're still available on the site or not. I don't know when I bought them, but that's what they're called. So if you looked in the puffy stickers, you'd know what would be there, if they are. And I'm just going to add a little bit of my ATG here. The cool part about this is I don't really need to put a Thickers title on here, which is nice. I have that already taken care of. I'm going to just add in this little tag, and that tag says Happy Moments, and it looks like it's been stamped off. It really hasn't. I'm going to round this out because this was a speech bubble, and I'm not a big speech bubble person unless it's actually coming out of somebody's mouth. So I'm a little too literal in that case. So I usually cut the tails off if I can. And I'm just adding in this green star die cut there to get a little green. So I'm going to have a little bit of green and black in every cluster. And then I'll have some puffy sticker pieces in every cluster as well. Now I saw that die cut there, it says work hard, and since we run together, I really wanted, and we also do yoga every day, not physically together, but we both do yoga every day and tag each other. I wanted to make sure that I got this looked at. So that's what I'm doing here. Okay, then I have that little together die cut, and I'm going to add that in over the top of that So Good green die cut. This layout was actually fairly fast, including the 15 minutes it took me to select papers and, die cuts and other pieces. It only took me 35 minutes total, so it's 20 minutes of actual scrapbooking time. Pretty simple. It is one of the things that I do like about starting with an inspiration board and a sketch, because a lot of that, design work is already done for you. Okay, so now I am adding these stars, and that came from the Elle Studio. It's just puffy stickers there. That was, again, something that they offered with a, just with a monthly kit. And then I have these Elle Studios just green stars here. And again, those came from with one of the monthly kits. I don't remember it, not with the kit itself, but you could buy it separately, because they give you there's other offerings that you can buy besides the kit during a month. And so they have all these really neat little embellishments. I, however, am now on a spending freeze for a while because I have so much product. I've bought so much product with the new releases that I'm going to freeze myself. I am going to the Scrapbook Expo in about a month, so I'm going to unfreeze myself for a day, but I'm also going to have to be very careful. I'm going to give myself a spending limit, and I don't know what that's going to be yet. I haven't decided. I think I know, I should say, but I haven't decided for sure. We'll see. I'm really on a tear to kind of try to use things up at the moment. All right, there is the still shot and a couple of detail shots. Hope you guys are all well, and I'll be back, or will be back, with more layouts again soon. Bye.